students? Like, how are they allocated? How do we share them? So here, according to Harold Laswell, he says something very beautiful here. He says that this is directly centered on who gets what, when do they get it, and how do they get it. And that is exactly what resource allocation is all about. Okay, so we'll look at that one too. All right, I think someone's name is on. Someone's sound is on. It's Mohammed Salim. Please, can you mute yourself? All right, so now let's continue. We'll also look at the triple pillar. Mr. Mohammed Salim, can you mute yourself? Can someone mute him?
मोहम्मद सलीम भाई तुम्हारा माइक म्यूट करो तुम्हारा माइक म्यूट करो
Okay, so let's continue. Now, so the triple pillar, that is the power, authority, and legitimacy. We'll look at the structure, capacity to direct or command the immediate action of groups, whether via coercion or incentives. So the first thing, or one of the biggest takeaway for today, is the triple pillar. Triple, one is single, two is double, three is what? Triple. So here we look at the triple pillar. What is a pillar? A pillar is a strong, material we use to show the boundary of something. So we say that the triple pillar are power, authority, and legitimacy, the triple pillar. So the first one is power. When you have power, you have everything. The second one is authority, when you are able to tell people to do whatever you want. So you give some people some power and they change something, or they ensure something is done, we call it authority. Then we also say legitimacy. That is, if someone says, I am the leader of all Rohingya students in the world, Mr. Mohammed Anwar, can you hear me?
yes sir
All right, I want to ask you a question. Someone comes and he says, my name is Ro, and I live in Japan, and I am the leader of all Rohingya students in the world. What would you tell them?
yes if I have power sir
No, someone comes and he tells you that he is the leader of all Rohingya students in the world. What would you tell them?
I don't have idea about that sir I think
Okay, thank you. That's fine. Mr. Mohammed Shah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, if someone come and say something to me like, I am Ro, I live in Japan, and I'm the leader of the all student of Rohingya. If
Yes.
someone says like this, I would first measure his action, what he is doing or what he did in the past, or what's his plan, what his record is doing for the Rohingya people, student especially, as we have to measure them, his or her, according to
Oh,
his activity or activism.
okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Saying
much.
something, saying something cannot be acceptable. First, we have to exaggerate or investigate his actions. Then we can
Okay.
accept him or her.
Okay. Thank you very much. Who else? Someone wants to add something? All right. Now, if someone comes, okay, Mr. Mohammed Shah has given us a very good answer. But if someone comes to me, for example, I am Mr. Kaiser, okay, and I'm a Rohingya. Someone comes to me and he says, I am the leader of all Rohingyans in the world. I have only one question for him. Only one. who made you the leader of all Rohingyas in the world?
Exactly, sir.
Who made you? That is what we call legitimacy. That the recognition of people's authority by the people. And to ensure legitimacy, that's when we have what we call elections. Everyone comes out and they vote and they choose Mohammed to be the leader. Do you understand it? So if people say, we don't accept you as our leader, then you are not a legitimate leader. So no one, if that is the case, if anyone can just wake up and say they are the leaders of, a certain group, then it means I can also wake up one morning, come and I'll tell Kaiser I'm the leader of, RAR Institute. Of course, I started it and that you should start giving me money. Of course, RAR is not a profit-making institution, but I'm claiming it is for me and he is supposed to give me some money. And all of you would be like, what I say, because you know it is not true. So the question would be like, who made me the leader of all Rohingyas? Or who made me the leader of RAR Institute? Do you understand it? So the broad civic acceptance of a governing system's authority to execute laws. If you don't have legitimacy, you cannot control the people. If you have legitimacy, then you can form the police, you can form the military, and it goes on like that. So here we have the state and the nation. A state sovereign geopolitical body characterized by a permanent population, established geographical borders, systematic laws, and internal sovereignty. So the states is a very big topic, but I will try to explain it. When we say a state is not a nation. In politics or in international relations, there is a difference between a state and a nation. A state and a nation. A state is a sovereign geopolitical body that is characterized by permanent population. So, for example, what is the most populated country in the world?
I can say Indonesia, sir, right?
No,
No,
China.
it's
no,
India.
China, sir.
India.
it's India.
I mean India.
Yes,
Indonesia is a Muslim depopulation country in the world.
Yes, sir.
yes,
Yes, sir. I said about it. Yes, sir.
very good. So, the most populated country in the world today is India. Do you know why? Who can tell me? Because in the past, for many years, China was the, largest population in the world, but China decided to cut birth. Like the number of children being born in the country was cut by India. They'll be like, no, if you give birth to more than 2 children, 3 children, the government is not going to support you. So they started giving birth to one, two, one, two. But India didn't have any limitation. If you want to give birth to many children, that's the floor is yours. You can give birth to many children. So if you go to countries, some countries, the population is dying. Like go to England, the population is dying. Go to many countries in Europe, they don't have the number of people to represent the nation. So in the case of states, when you wake up one day and a state like Ghana, whose population is only 35 million, has only 2 people, then it ceases to be a state. The reason is that 2 people cannot form government and rule who? Who are they going to rule over? Who are they going to govern over? No. So they cannot rule. Therefore, state falls. So a state needs what we call the permanent population. That is population that is growing or stable, or population that has what? Geographical borders. Where does our land stand? It stands from here, it flies from there, it goes there, it comes there. And systematic laws. We have laws that is orderly and not illogical. For example, we say all people should be shouting at night. This is not a systematic law, especially if it is contradictory. You say that every person has the right to freedom. Then be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Then they say, but Not everyone has the right to freedom. It is what? Contradictory. Therefore, it is not a systematic law. And it should have internal sovereignty. The people should know that this is what our power is, and this is what we can do. And no one can come and tell us what to do. So no one should be able to enter Bangladesh, Myanmar, or any country and tell them, yes, we are from Japan, and we're going to tell you that every day you guys should wake up at 6 and go to bed at 7 o'clock. Then you are not a sovereign state. But a nation is a sociological group bound by shared customs, historic ancestry, language, and collective values. So here it has more to do with what? Social, people who live together, people who share the same thing. So nation is kind of a cultural identity or entity, and the state is legal entity. Do you understand it? So the state is legal and the nation is cultural. For
Yes, sir.
example, America is not a national or nation. America is a state because America doesn't have any cultural entity, and I can give you a lot of examples. What is the culture of America? How do Americans sleep? How do they dress? What do they eat? They eat burgers, they eat chicken. Are they their food? No, they are not. Why? Because America invites everyone. So you can be a Chinese and still be an American. You can be a Rohingyan, you can still be an American. You can be a Ghanaian, you can still be American. And that is why America is not a nation state. It's not a nation, it's rather a state because it looks in what we call the cultural entity. All right. So we're going to also look at separation of powers. So the three arms of government, right? Legislative, they make our laws. So they make our laws. Then we also have the executive. They enforce and implement the policies. Do you understand it? They what? Enforce. So executive like the president, the ministers, and the police. When they make the laws, when the legislative make the law, then the executive will make sure the law works. And if there is a problem with the law, we don't understand the law. What does it mean if you say all men are equal? Then you have to go to the judiciary. The judiciary are the judges, the courts. They are the ones that are going to tell you, when we say blah, 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 it means blah, blah, blah. And that is exactly what the judiciary does. They interpret the constitution and the law. And here the core functions. So we have what we call the internal security. Of course, there's a typing mistake here. That is protecting citizens' lives. The core functions of government is what? To maintain internal security. And that is where Rohingyans have suffered because they didn't have any internal security. In your own country, you were attacked and killed and no one protected you. So that is where the problem is. Then we also have systemic justice. That is developing a system that is going to make sure that everyone receive their just, like they receive some kind of justice. So for example, if Mr. Kaiser does something, then we say, no, it's Mr. Kaiser, no problem. But if Ms. Mohammed Shah does something, he's being taken to the court, he's done something bad too. And that is not systemic justice. Do you understand? It shouldn't favor some people and not favor some people. Then we also have overseeing the provision of vital service, that is social welfare. Make sure that people get water, people get food, people get schools, hospitals. That we'll call the social welfare. All right, then we also have the 5 weeks roadmap. We have the foundation, we have organizations or organs, and we also have forms and systems, and we're going to have institutions, and we're going to have the governance part. All right, so here we have the regime comparison. We're going to look at democracy, we're going to look at authoritarian government or regime, and we're going to look at the totalitarian, and we're going to look at all these things too. So I'm going to send the flash to you so you see them. So these are the books that we're going to use: Politics, Introduction to Politics, and Britannica Poto, that is Politics for Kids. Okay, so we will end here. We will stop here. And if you have any questions, if there is something you don't understand, you can ask me. And Mr. Kaiser will answer most of your questions anytime, because he's also a PhD candidate in this field. So he knows a lot as far as this field is concerned. Yes, Mr. Ashikur Rahman. Mr. Ashikur Rahman, you can talk now. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So my question is, why is the Myanmar government committing genocide against the Rohingya? That is my question.
You know, there is something we call ethnic cleansing. It is not only Rohingyas that are suffering from this. If you go to India, if you go to China, we have the people we call the Uyghurs. They are a kind of minority in India, no, sorry, in China, and China is being, very unfair to them. It has killed many, and nothing has happened. And if you go to places like South Africa, or if you go to places in Ireland, they will tell you that if they allow other tribes to grow, then they are going to mix races. Therefore, they attack them, they kill them just because they want to protect their own race. And that is the faith of Rohingyas. Rohingyas have suffered because of many reasons. One of them is Islam. And I don't know if you have seen it before. I wrote a poem about that, and I think Mr. Kaiser has it, or I think it's on the website or something like that, or on your Facebook page. You can look for it. I have tried to explain why Rohingyas were attacked and why the world is silent. Mr. Ashikur Rahman, I hope you have answered your question. Yes, Mr. Mohammed Haikal. I'll take this one for the last. Yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, I have 2 to 3 questions. Among them, I will ask only one questions.
Okay. So that
Is
next time ask the next, or you can ask Mr. Kaiser, you explain more. Yes.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. What is the most important difference between a state or a nation? And can a nation exist without a state?
Yes, a nation can exist because there are many countries. Do you know we have a few countries in the world that has no
Yes, sir.
president, no no any legal entity. People live there, and in the past, people used to live like that. There are no laws, they don't have borders, they don't care about anything. If you have people like that, then we can call them a nation. It's a strong nation. And it is not the case that if you are a nation, then you are not a state. And if you are a state, you are not a nation. No. We have another word we call the nation state in political science.
Oh,
That is to say, a
yes,
state that
sir.
is a nation at the same time. It has a legal backing, and then it also has people who have the same culture and the same social, connections. So the key difference between a nation and a state is that a state is legal. It has borders, it has president, it has ministers, it takes part in global affairs. But a nation can decide not to share any of these and still be a nation. And a state can still share all these things and still be a nation state. So that is the answer to your question. Yes.
Sir,
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
please.
if I hope in this situation is like a global issues, I hope which political theories are most useful for in these issues. I mean, current global issues.
You mean which political system?
I mean,
Can you say
I
it
mean,
again?
I mean, sir, they are monopolar theories, multipolar theories. I mean, which political theories are most useful for current global issues?
We don't have any. You know, we have what we call the bipolar, we have the multipolar, we have the unipolar, like you just mentioned, but the world is confused. If you ask people on the ground, they will tell you the strongest nation in the world today is not the United States, it is China. And if you add other theories, they will tell you no, the world is no more about bipolar, it's not about unipolar, it's about multipolar. Who are the powers? China, Russia, and what's the name of this country? And India, even India is considered a power.
France.
Yes, but then all these nations that you're talking about are strong because they feed on other nations. United States is feeding on many other nations in the world. You don't understand? China is everywhere in the world. It is in Ghana and mining gold, taking things, making things cheaper because it has a lot of population. So we don't have, if you ask me from the political perspective, everyone is just sharing their opinion. But the kind of the system that we're using, the bipolar, the multipolar, the unipolar, it's just a name because the world is confused. We don't know exactly which system is being used. All right.
Oh,
Thank
thank you,
you.
sir. Sorry
You're
for
welcome.
sir.
You're welcome, sir. All right. So, Mr. Mahmoud Rashid, I think I'll take you for last. Then I will go by.
Yeah, I think, guys, I think Dr. Muhammad also, he needs to go to pray Juma. I think as far as I know,
Yeah,
yeah, this is Juma time for him. Please,
exactly.
one more, yeah. We will take one more,
Yeah.
then we're going to wrap up the section, yeah. Yes, who
All right. So,
else?
Mr. Mahmoud Rashid, if you're going to
Mahmoud Rashid.
ask, you ask. Yes.
Okay, sir, I'm ready to ask my question if you permit
Yes.
me. Okay.
So you can ask, no problem.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir, for giving me this floor to ask my
Okay.
question and clarify
Very
the
good.
situation. And my
Mm.
question is, I want to know that as we are studying about politics, I have a question on that. That is, what is the structural systems to be a politician, and what are the involvement of politics so that I will be a good politician?